All right, welcome back to Fully Tech Mechanical. I got a little follow-up video for the last one we did, which was the top 5 tools I wish I could get my money back for. And this one is top 5. It's actually going to be 6 tools that I just can't live without and were worth every single penny. And trying not to pick on one brand or another. And what I say about that is I think any premium tool grade is probably going to be able to offer you something very similar to what I'm going to show you, but just so happens these are the brands that I bought over the years. So we're going to start right out with, I bought these as a snap-on screwdriver set. I bought these, I want to say in about 2000. It was when I just started my apprenticeship, and absolutely love them. I've had the shit beat out of them for years and years. I use them every single day. More often than not, I use them for what they weren't intended for, despite what it says, right? It says, oh, come on, focus. Not a pry bar, chisel, or punch. Well, they make excellent pry bars, chisels, and punches. Lifetime warranty. I think Snap-on changed the design on these a while ago, and they actually came full circle to come back to these because I think guys were whining. Just feels right in the hand. Solid plastic. It's not rubbery, so it doesn't soak the grease and oil up. So many people have been, or so many manufacturers have been using these rubber style handles, and they just soak up the grease and look like shit. Love them. They've warranted probably every one of these a couple of times because I just beat the hell out of them. I might have paid $200 for this set back in the early 2000s. I think you can still get a set like this for $250. Seems like a lot of money when you're looking at the big box store stuff, but absolutely worth it. I love them so much. I got a set just like it at home that I use, on just about every project around the house too. So made a little hanger for it instead of a piece of angled 2-inch angle aluminum. Cut some slots in it and keeps everything in line. Absolutely love that set. Worth every single penny. Moving on, I guess we'll stick with the Snap-on stuff for a minute. Anyway, so these are Snap-ons. Again, not specific to the brand. They have these are a 3/8 swivel impact socket. I've got them in both standard and metric. Not cheap. Like a set of these, I think in today's Canadian pesos is over $300 and probably close to $400. Worth it. If you're professional, working in a trade, you got to have good stuff. Again, not specific to the brand. I'm more loyal to the brand that's going to be loyal to me. So I consistently see a Snap-on dealer just about every week and have for my entire career. Every other brand, we've had guys come in and be reliable for 18 months, a year, 2 years, but then they vanish and your stuff is orphaned. And I've never been, with limited exception, left waiting for a significant amount of time for warranty on anything from Snap-on. And that's just for my area. It depends where you are. It might be a different brand altogether, but 3/8 drive, swivel, impact sockets, bulletproof. The original Snap-on design had this little collar around the thinking on that is if the pin breaks, it's going to prevent it from coming out and cutting you up. But you see the modern ones no longer use that, so they've ruled that out. That used to be a selling point, and then they kind of went back and changed the design. Whether one's better or not, I couldn't tell you, but if you're pulling transmissions out, anything hard to get, these are just lifesavers. And if you've got a set of these, then you got to have one of these. And this is a 1/2 to 3/8, I want to say 20-inch or 24-inch extension. It drops your size down, and it's got a detent ball. Any 3/8 drive impact sockets, I really feel the only way you're going to retain them is with a detent ball. Get this guy on there, and then you can reach up inside between your transmission tunnel and bell housing and get those hard reach bolts out. Absolute lifesavers, worth every penny, and then some. Take a lick and keep on ticking. So excellent, worth every penny I got. The next thing I'm going to go kind of goes with it. Sometimes is I've got a DeWalt 18 volt 1/2-inch drive, cordless impact. I don't even know if they make the 18 volt stuff. I think they still do. I've got a this is an Amazon branded or it was bought off Amazon replacement battery pack, year old, and it's basically shot. Of course, the DeWalt stuff, the original stuff, 4 or 5 years before I really noticed it failing. Now I bought this way. It's got a 1/2-inch drive anvil with a retention pin on it. They do make it with a slip collar that would hold like a screwdriver bit. But if you're running sockets on it, you're going to lose a tremendous amount of torque through that screwdriver bit. So I went with a 1/2-inch. The 3/8 ones don't use a retention pin or a detent ball. They use a snap ring, and it's been my experience, no matter how new the snap ring or how new the socket, when you need it the most, it's going to drop the socket, and then you're going to be on your hands and knees underneath something dripping salt wet shitty water on you. So I find this is sort of the happy medium. I just keep this adapter just lives on the tool, and I typically run 3/8 sockets. I've occasionally run 1/2-inch sockets on it. For the most part, that works great. It's never dropped a socket on me. It's changeable. I kind of look at it as a sacrificial part, and I keep on going. Love it. Again, not particular or partial to DeWalt. It's just I've got a bunch of DeWalt stuff. It's sort of amassed itself. It's one standard battery format, and it works for me. Any other brand that's good quality probably going to work for you. Next one is I've got a Matco multi-purpose slide hammer and puller set. Not particularly phenomenal quality. I've seen this same set sold under different brand names before. Nothing inside the case is branded Matco, so they're just buying this from someone else and putting their own packaging on it. It's a handy little kit. It's a multi-piece, multi-jaw puller. These puller jaws can be used to grip something from the outside or actually reach from the inside. You can use this cone here to pressure and hold the jaws in place so it gets a good grip on it. And then you can either use like a threaded, the threaded rod to press that out, or in this case, put it on the slide hammer. Really good, tough slide hammer. I've pulled wheel bearings and such with it. My favorite adaptation for this is this guy here, threads into a vice grip. So you take this little adapter here, spin this guy out, thread that in, and then that threads on the end of the slide hammer, and you can really do some hackery and pull stuff apart or make a bad problem worse with that. It's got me out of a few jams, and it's made a few things worse in my life. Really happy with the kit. I think I paid $130 for it 15 years ago. I think you can still get it for around $200, and I think it's worth every penny despite where it's made. Next ones is these are Channel Lock brands. Again, not partial to the brand, but these have always been good, fairly reliable. I've heard mixed reviews on Channel Locks. These are my electrical crimpers, and I do a ton of wiring repairs on trailers and boats and such. Anytime you got to put an eyelet on or something like that, I'll do a different video on how I put eyelets and electrical connectors on the ends of wires. But lots of torque, really good and reliable. You can see they've been the bilge of boats and they're in rough shape, but they just keep going, worth every single penny. Lots of torque, pretty good cover. Last one, I'm going to try to keep the video short, is this is a snap-on set, but again, I've seen the exact same set sold with a different brand name, so it's not specifically snap-on. I know these thread files say snap-on on them, but as opposed to a tap and die set, a tap or die is actually going to cut threads and remove material, and sometimes remove more material than you necessarily need, where a thread chaser or thread restorer is a softer material, and the shape, I will not get that to focus, the shape of the cutter is more like the shape that's on the bolt. So it's more or less going to lap or align screwed up threads, remove rust and crap and corrosion or whatever from a threaded hole or over a piece of thread, piece of threaded bolt or whatever, without actually cutting material off. And it's soft enough that if you get yourself in trouble and it breaks, you can still drill through it, unlike a tap, where if you break a tap off in a blind hole, you're gonna have a really shitty fucking day. So Worth every penny. I use them all the time. Very comprehensive. Sometimes you're just trying to figure out what thread something is. This will help you do it because you just thread it onto something. These thread files are something you can kind of work around a threaded stud or something like that. I've tried using them a couple of times. Honestly, I haven't had any luck with them. I'm sure other guys have, but I kind of think those are a bit of a gimmick. Like I said, maybe used them twice, but the rest of the set is absolute genius. So that's actually 6 tools, but the tools I use every single day and couldn't live without. Thanks for watching. Fully Tech Mechanical.